Hi, everybody. This video is not about Amazon or anything Amazon related, really, but I thought I should record this video. I posted something on social media, and a couple people reached out to me and messaged me about my thoughts, and I thought I'll just try to put them in the video where I explain sort of myself. So, what I wanted to say to everyone in the year 2022 is that my advice to everyone is to have two things. One is that you need to have a passport, meaning international passport that allows you to travel. Make sure that it's not expired. And second, do not get any pets if you don't have any yet, but or at least do not get any new pets. And I'm going to elaborate what I mean by that. So number one about passport. So this gonna sound different for different people, depending on which country you live in. If you reside in the United States, the only passport that United States provides is the one that actually allows you to have an ability to travel internationally. In other countries, there is a domestic passport and also international passport. And I'm talking about international passport, but you definitely also have to have your domestic passport also updated. Um, and to elaborate also on number one, right, regarding passports, is that if you have an opportunity to get a second, third, or who knows, maybe fourth citizenship other than the one that you have already, you should definitely go and seek that opportunity right away. And it may seem complicated to do so for many people, but it's really not that complicated. And a lot of people are actually qualifying for second, third, or whatever citizenship uh, for many different reasons. For example, so there are obviously the opportunities which are called citizenship by investment. Many countries allow you to get a citizenship if you just invest something, and investment can be a purchase of a property of a certain amount of money, or some countries, as some Caribbean islands, for example, some of them allow you to just invest a certain amount, for example, $100,000. And sometimes you can get it back, sometimes not, depends on the country. And then they will give you a passport, and the passport allows you to travel to certain countries visa free and other different things. So basically, it's your second citizenship opportunity. And another way to get it is by different ways. For example, by your roots, right? Where you came from, where your family came from. So if your mother or father were born in other country, this may give you a very easy way to obtain the citizenship of as their child, right, of the country where they had a citizenship when they were born, right? So, and there are also other many things. Like, for example, there's like 13 or 15 million Americans that are from Italy, right? And Italy has this special program. Not from Italy. I mean, have roots, right? Italian roots. America is is a country of immigrants, right? So you probably have something over there in your line, that allows you to get a second passport. And some people just don't know about it or haven't thought about it. But I encourage you to do so, because it's going to be really beneficial for you in case you need it. And if you don't need it, so just whatever. You can throw it out, well, but don't throw it in the garbage. um, but you basically can throw out my advice out of the window, but just get it if you have opportunity. So that's that. Get a passport. Make sure, well, your primary passport, obviously, make sure it's not expired. Make sure you can travel internationally. And the second, try to get a second passport, maybe third. Um, you should inquire about your own regulations about each country. Each country has different things. Some country allow dual citizenship, some does not. That's going to be your responsibility. I'm not an attorney, and you should seek your own counsel about that. um, and also about taxation and all of that stuff. So, also to number two about pets, I think it's probably pretty obvious what I'm saying about pets is that because having pets in general makes it very hard to travel anywhere, domestic, international. I know we love pets and we want to have pets generally, but right now I don't think it's this is the best time to get new pets. Just maybe hold on to that one. And let's see to the reason why I'm talking about this, right? And if you know me a little bit, I'm not really a doomsday person, right? I'm not a prepper per se, but I like to have options, right, in life. I'm sure like most of you also want to have options to do this or that, right? You don't like to be dragged in a corner and be limited in your abilities to do anything, right? So that's what kind of person I am, just like I guess like anybody else. So I like to see my options. And why am I talking about this right now? And because I don't really post much on social media, but I feel pretty strongly about it, and I'll tell you why. So, um, number one, people were asking me, so what's going on? Like, do you know something? Do you know stuff? And everybody knows stuff. And I will tell you what you know, and you will maybe understand my logic as well. So, number one, everybody knows what happened during COVID. 2.5, I guess, years ago, COVID started. What happened regarding the freedom of movement in general across our earth, right? What happened? Countries got shut down. You couldn't go anywhere. The only way how you could go somewhere is that if you had uh, a citizenship or a residency or some kind of way to prove that you belong to that country one way or another. Because the only way they would let you in there is with with this document, right? And later they created different stipulations, like you could have got vaccinated and get some documents or doctor's note, all of that stuff, but that all came later. The first what happened after COVID, all countries started shutting down. And if you had a property somewhere and you didn't get a residency for that, or if you had any other kind of business, or if you had anything planned or relatives you wanted to visit or anything, you could not do nothing during COVID. And so you got stuck for years. Um, so you get kind of screwed if you didn't have any other documents besides your own country. Um, so that's number one. And I think that was the first din 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 bell for humanity to understand how things can change quickly. This was unprecedented. That never ever happened that the countries would shut down, like the whole world was shut down and you were not allowed to go anywhere. Um, that never ever happened. But you know what? It happened, And I know people are relaxed right now and all, but I think we should learn. This is number one. Number two, I'm sure you know there has been a war in Ukraine since February. And this also was not expected. I talked to many friends of mine. Ukraine. I have a lot of friends in Ukraine, as you may know. I'm from Ukraine, and that nobody thought that this would happen, even when the Russians were having troops by the border of country. Nobody thought that they would do anything, but they did. They did it, and here is what happened with many people that I know. Every other person, in fact, is that many people had to leave their homes, their country, grab their kids, grab whatever they could grab, and flee through the borders of Poland, Hungary, um, other bordering countries, wherever they could. Many of those did not have passports, right? They only had the domestic passports and some just birth certificates for their kids, right? Um, so they did not have any documents. At the time, there was a special law or whatever was created that they could cross the border without the somebody checking their documentation. But it was really hard for people who did not have documents. And if they would want to move around, let's say they came to one country and they had to go to another country, if they didn't have a passport, um, it was really hard anyway. They had to put them on a special, like a system list, that here they are without a passport. Anyway, the logistics are very complex, and it some people even, I think, didn't travel because of that, because they thought they maybe not going to be allowed and stuff, like something like that. So to that point, if somebody starts asking me questions like, well, do you think there's going to be a war, because most of my friends are living in United States, right? So you would ask that, what do you think? Like, do you think we're gonna have to flee United States? Like, blah blah blah. And I'm not saying nothing like that, okay? Like, it's not a doomsday. It's just like, if you have the opportunity, just go ahead and do it while you can, right? It's much easier to have your documents in order just in case you need them. If you don't need them, well, there they are laying, in your cabinet. Here's another thing what people don't understand about getting a citizenship, or at the least a residency in other countries. Having a citizenship means that you can first enter the country. And why it's important. So remember what I said about COVID. You could not enter the country. No matter tourist, no tourist, you cannot enter unless you belong there. So first you can enter the country, right? Second, you can live there. You can live in the country. Number three is that you can work. If you have citizenship, you can work. Otherwise, you need to have a permit. You cannot just go to some other country as a tourist and just start getting jobs. That would get you deported quickly. So you need a document that allows you to work. Citizenship allows that. Passport allows that. And number four, which many people don't think about also, it's access to medical care. In many countries, if you are a tourist, you're going to pay 10 times more money for medical care as opposed to if you are a local. And let's say, even if you go to vacation to Spain or whatever country you're going to, Austria, and then you, God forbid, you break a leg, you have to go to hospital. And bear in mind, I don't know the rules for Austria or Spain. But for example, right, then you may be in a situation in which you will be required to pay a lot more money as a person who does not have a residency or citizenship in that country for that medical care. And you will not have access to insurance in that country uh, like the local ones do. So that's number four, medical care. And also, another point I want to make about why you would need a second or another passport uh, in a different country is that, let's say, for example, a financial crisis coming up, or some say already there. Perhaps you're in the budget and you having hard times living in the United States, affording things. Because United States is one of the most expensive countries in the world. Perhaps your option is to save money by moving to a different country for time being, because in many countries the cost of living is much less. But if you would move as a tourist, you would have limits as to how many days you could spend there. And let's say, for example, you decide to move to Southeast Asia or whatever country, or maybe some um, Eastern European country. And let's say you move there, and then in 30 to 90 days, you must leave. Otherwise, you're breaking the rules of this country by overstaying your allowed time. But if you have a residency or a citizenship in that country, then basically almost nobody kick you out. You can stay as much as you want. And when, let's say, if the time when the time improves, then you can go back to United States. But meanwhile, you have this opportunity that you can live in another country, reside in another country for time being, and be able to stay there as much as you want, even be able to get a job, and have access to a local health care and all of that stuff that I already talked about. I think that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, let me know. Send me, if you're one on my Facebook or somewhere, send me a message or comment on YouTube here, and I'll try to answer my thoughts. And again, I'm not a legal counsel. I'm not an immigration attorney. I just read the signs, but this is my personal opinion, and take it or leave it. But if you leave it and the stuff hits the fan, you'll be sorry. Okay, have a great day, everyone.